My name's Shell, and if you haven't been to my channel before and I haven't done a video for a little while, this is my weight loss journey, which I began last January, the same week last year. I had plans for last year and they didn't work out. I started in January and the plan was to do calorie counting and learn portion sizes for around about 7 months of the year, and then at the end of the year I was going to switch over to intuitive eating, by which time I would have learned all about portion sizes and got my hunger in check, and the intuitive eating was going to be the way I was going to be forevermore and happily ever after. But that didn't work out. The first 7 months or whatever went well, and I was doing the calorie counting. It was great. I lost weight regularly each week. And then when I went over to intuitive eating, I found the whole thing just fell apart. It didn't work out for me at all. I just couldn't feel the hunger scale that you're supposed to feel. I didn't feel full when I was supposed to, to indicate when to stop eating. And I could never tell whether I was hungry for food or just hungry because I wanted to eat something, and it just didn't work out. So I was quite disappointed at the end of last year, and I didn't do a video, I think, from the end of October onwards. I tried to get back on track. I tried various things. I went to a few lectures on Zoom about intuitive eating and I just couldn't manage it. So by the end of the year I was feeling quite despondent. I didn't want to go back to I didn't want to go back to anything really. I didn't know what to do. And I did actually do a video in December, but when I looked back on it a couple of days later, I thought it was too depressing to put up. I was really in the doldrums, and I thought nobody wants to listen to that in December, so I didn't put it up. And I hadn't actually put that much weight on, to be honest, just a few pounds. But since then things went awry. And now I'm starting again. So I've got plans for this year. It's going to be pretty much the same as last year, apart from not the intuitive eating at the end. I'm going back to what I know works, which is calorie counting. I've tried other plans before and I've not found anything that works for me as well as calorie counting. I must admit, over Christmas I did look at other things. I looked on Amazon at different books and tried to find something new to do, but I think in the end you have to face the fact that there's not going to be anything new. Whatever books you find, whatever new diet you find, it's all going to entail the same thing pretty much, just packaged in a different way. And so I decided to forget all that, just go back to calorie counting and see how I get on. So that's the plan for the year. In case anybody's new to the channel, my name's Shell. I live in North Wales with my partner and our 3 pets, who are all getting on a bit now. We've got a parrot who's 26 and a budgie who is around about 7 and a dog who's 14, so they're all getting on a little bit. And I've been a vegan for 31 years now, about 31 years. So the food that I show on here will be, well, hopefully be vegan food. I suppose sometimes I might slip up every now and again, I don't know it. I hope not, I try not to, I do read labels. And we've lived here in Wales for 30 years, but I'm originally from Cumbria. And I've been on a diet a long time. I think the first time I went overweight was in 1989, I think. It was 1989 or 1990. And I went on a diet then, and I've been on a diet ever since, and I've never... Well, I reached target once when I was ill, and that was it. So I'm still trying to get there, but I don't think I'm alone in that journey. So I think that's all I need to say to get started. I'm a bit reluctant to get started again. I'm not feeling the enthusiasm that I felt this time last year. I was quite excited last year. This time, I think when you're getting back on the same plan, going back to the same meals, there's not much to get very excited about. But I'm going to plug away at it, and hopefully, I've seen a few other people get started a few days before me, and they seemed pretty similar. They didn't seem to feel the enthusiasm, but a couple of days in, when they're feeling better, you can see the change in them. You can definitely see how their mood changes, and once they've got a couple of days under their belt, they start picking up. So I'm hoping that'll be me. I'm using a site called Weight Loss Resources on the internet, which is it's your typical, you put your food in, your exercise in, it tells you how many calories to burn. I find it very accessible. As well, I'll be talking here about things that aid, because I am blind as well. I've been blind for about I've been blind for about 30 years, something like that. So all the things I use need to be accessible, and the Weight Loss Resources website is really good. It's very easy to get around, and I can use it very well. So I'll be using that to plug in and find out how many calories to use, and I'm also going to be using, because sometimes it's difficult with exercise to find how many calories to put in, because say if I walk for 30 minutes on the treadmill, my treadmill readout is different from the readout I get on my watch, which is different from the readout that I get if I put the exercise into the Weight Loss Resources site. So I've decided I'm going to go with my watch. I've got my watch on here, which reads out, let's see,
2:07 p.m.
2:07
p.m.
And then
daily activity.
daily activity.
5,426 steps, active time 43 minutes, 189 activity kcal.
So 189
Time to activate.
kilocalories it says I've earned today already, but I've done the main part of my exercise. I normally aim to do about 6,000 steps in a day, which usually is round about 230 calories or something. So I'll put that into the Weight Loss Resources and it'll give me extra. At the minute it's giving me a total of 1,435 calories a day. So that's what I'll be eating, and then I can add the exercise calories on top. So it's probably, as long as I do enough exercise in a day, going to take me up to round about 1,600 calories a day. But I'll probably try and stick to 15 for best, because I think that's it's quite a good amount of calories, 1,500 a day. So I will try and stick to round about that. I usually show new finds that we've had in the week. I haven't got the box for the thing we had this week, which was from Sainsbury's, and it was tofu, sweet and sour tofu from their Plant Chef range, and it was lovely. It was only 520 calories and it was really nice, so I can highly recommend that. And the other thing we tried was this Galaxy vegan hot chocolate. I'd heard a lot of reports about it, and people seem to like it, so I bought 2 and I hated it. I really didn't like it. I didn't realise that it had the milk built into the hot chocolate. I thought it would have just been the cocoa and the sugar side of things, but it's got the milk powder in it, and I like my hot chocolate very strong chocolatey. But unfortunately, the more of that you put in, the more milk powder is going in, and so it gets all creamy and slimy, and I really didn't like it. So I got rid of the other tub, and this tub will be heading down to the food bank next week. And I've gone back to my ordinary cocoa powder, so I can make it nice and strong and not creamy, because I don't like it creamy. Right, so I do a live weigh-in. I'm going back to weekly weigh-ins as well. I had decided to stop doing that. When I tried the intuitive eating, I decided to go to a monthly weigh-in. But I'm going back to weekly weigh-ins again now, because I think it really helps me to know that I've got to get on the scales live on the camera each Saturday. So I'm going to go back to that, because out of everything that I do, I think that is most motivating. At the end of October, I think I weighed in at around about 10 stone. I can't remember, it would be only a pound or 2 over or a pound or 2 under. But anyway, that was October.
Hello.
So these are my talking scales.
It's ready.
Okay.
10 stones, 12.8 pounds.
10 stone 12.8, so I always round it to the nearest one, so 10 stone 13. So I've put on just short of a stone really since October, which could be worse, and actually that means I'm still almost 3 stone down on last year. This time last year I weighed 13 stones 8, so starting at 11, 13, starting at 10, starting at 10, 13, I'm still a lot down on last year, and if I could do the same this year and be nearly 3 stone down at the end of this year, I would be, well, yeah, I'd be definitely in my target by then. So it's not all bad. It was a good year. If you'd have asked me this time last year, how do you fancy being nearly 3 stones down the same time next year, I would have bitten your hand off. So it's not all bad, and I am quite happy. I wished I was still another stone further down, but you can't look back. It is what it is, and now I've got over the disappointment of never being able to be an intuitive eater. I'll have to face the facts and just go back to calorie counting and just stay and do that. So I hope everybody else has had a good New Year, and we had a very quiet Christmas and a very quiet New Year. Normally I go to see my family who all live in Cumbria, but with things being the way they are with the COVID this year, and also with the storms that we had before Christmas, I didn't get to see them. So hopefully later on in the year. And we just stayed in really. We just took it easy. We went and had our boosters the week before Christmas, so got that out of the way. And it was really nice. We had lots of nice presents and drinks, and we didn't get a lot of food in this year. I got some mince pies for Andy. I didn't eat any of those. He's been making his way slowly through them. He went on a diet last year as well, and he did so well. He just lost every week. He stuck to exactly, he found out how many calories he was supposed to eat. He stuck to it religiously. He lost every week, and since then, which was about November again, since about November he's just stayed the same, maybe even lost a little bit more. But then he hasn't got a problem with food. He just gained weight because of the lockdown and because he was enjoying eating too many cakes. So once he realised he was eating too many cakes, he stopped, and that was it. He finds it very scientific and sensible, and not like me. So I've been enjoying watching everyone's videos. I noticed a lot of people coming back, starting again this year. I'm sure we'll do it this year. It doesn't matter where you start and what happened over Christmas, it's just get back on track and best feet forward. So I look forward to next week and do the weigh-in, and I shall see you then. Take care. Bye.